Anyways, this is RSS 009. Normally it's real street stories, but this one, the S is going to be more like it's going to be more like real, strange, spooky, supernatural, scary, spiritual, surrealistic, spatial. And you know, this is a true story. It's a true tale. I'm not going to say who, whether it's about me or not, but I'm going to take the role as if it's happened to me. So, whether it happened to me or not, well, it doesn't really matter, but it's a true tale, and this is what happened. And, you know, I've read other people with some experiences like this, so I'll do the best to remember everything. But, I mean, even before I did this, I went to close the AC, and I went to Money Saver, and, like, you know what I mean, everything's, like, a little strange right now, so it's like... So, whether you believe it's paranormal or like interdimensional beings or dimensional beings, like I know there's people that believe in like the dimensional beings and we can see them in certain spots, certain times, so whatever, this is what happened. So, I'm somewhere between 8 and 12 years old, and I remember I was in my bed and my parents, they were fighting. I think they were yelling at each other, so I was under the blankets. So I'm under my yellow blankets, and then all of a sudden I see like a floating head. My knees are up, so I have my knees bent and like the thing are up, like almost like when people would be like in a reading position. So it starts out almost like if you ever seen Captain Nemo. I don't think I'd seen Captain Nemo yet at the time. It was like this Michael Jackson 3D thing. They had Disney, they had these special 3D glasses, and the stuff would actually be floating in front of you. You could run your hands through it and stuff. So it was almost like a hologram type of thing. So basically, that's the type of situation I was in. So it starts out, it looked like the person was wearing like a blue turban, a bluish turban, blue. So I'm like running my hand through the turban, running my hand through the floating head. I mean, I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. I mean, I think most people would have freaked out already, right? So the head's slowly turning around to face me. And when it finally faces me, it looks something like Nostradamus, maybe like something like the Sinbad movies, if you ever seen how they have. So I would say they had like either like white or gray, depending on how you do the colors. And basically it was a mustache and beard, and it was like the pointy mustache and beard. So I mean, it almost looks like one of the villains in one of the Sinbad movies from Ray Harryhausen. So I'm running my hand through, everything's still normal. I think I actually go from under the covers to like out of the covers, and the floating head's still in the same spot. It's kind of like between my legs, like by my knees and stuff. And you know, I was wide awake, and I mean, I'm a kid, so it's not like I'm on any drugs. I wasn't on any medication at the time or anything. So it definitely happened, you know, it's definitely really did happen. So what happened was, all of a sudden, the mouth opened and it was about to speak. It's like, whoa, whoa, like a big bassy mouth noise was starting to come out. And I just freaked out. I freaked out. So whether I was already out in the covers or not or whatever, I shook the covers and stuff. I freaked the hell out. Like that. When I actually could hear it actually making a noise that it was going to say something, that's when I freaked out. But I really regret it. Like even to this day, I regret it, because I wanted to know. Like I feel like what it had to say was important. It was trying to give me an important message. But like, trust me, when you see a fucking floating head, it's pretty scary. You know, I've had some weird stuff happen where I could do like telekinesis, I could explain it as. Like, you know, like, I used to make these fries or these pretzels. I think it was these Micro Magic fries or the pretzels, but I think in this case it was the fries. And I was like looking at the microwave and I'm like 252, 252, 252. I wanted it to go to like 252 in the time so that it was ready. And like all of a sudden the basement door just flung open. There was no rhyme, no reason, no way that like that could happen. So, you know what I mean? I've had some strange things happen, but that's probably the strangest. I mean, other things to think about, like telekinesis, like even now, man. But you know, at the time, it wasn't like I felt like a weird spookiness or anything like that. It wasn't like a chill. So, you know what I mean? It could have been like the people that believe in dimensional stuff. It could have been that. Because it wasn't like when you usually hear people about like ghost stories or hauntings and stuff. It wasn't in this room, though. It was a different room. So there's a room where, you know, where most of the dogs are these days. But I never forgot it, and I always had the regret that I didn't have enough courage to listen to what it had to say. But you know what? When you see a floating head, like some blue turban, like I guess it would look like an Arab or a Muslim to most people. You know, it had like the thing, and it had like, you know what I mean? And when it turned around, like I think of it as like a Nostradamus type thing. But it's not like I would know what Nostradamus looked at that age. So I don't know. I've seen other people, and usually all the people that I just skimmed all these floating head stories just to see if it would only happen to me. And most people, the people they see are in their 30s or 40s. So this guy might have even been older than that. But it's hard to tell. Some people get gray hair at an early age. I know this guy Dwayne, he already has like gray hair and stuff. So what I mean? I never thought I'd really get a chance to talk about this story. And I don't know if there's much interest in like that type of stuff, but I don't like to talk about that stuff because it kind of freaks you out. And then you got to go to sleep, or you got to shut the lights, and you're all fucking freaked out and shit. Like when I was growing up, they used to tell me the shadows would come and take you away and all this other stuff. So that's somehow how it was supposed to help me sleep. But if you thought the shadows were going to come and take you away, would you be able to sleep? And to make it worse, they'd come to check on me at night. And I'm thinking it's the shadows checking to see if I'm asleep, to see if they're going to take me away. My sister would even show me a scar that she was taken away and stuff. And I'd have dreams and these nightmares. We'd be under the table, and I'd always be the one that would have to run upstairs and put on the lights to get rid of the shadows. And the other kids whoever was under the table with me would never be like brave enough. And I'd be so scared, and I'd have to run up the stairs and put the lights on. Sometimes I'd have dreams, and there'd be like a scream in the dream and like all this other stuff. But yeah. So anyways, if anyone else has had like a floating head that they've seen, I think it would be nice to know. So I know I'm not the only one. And if anyone has any idea what they think that story is and what they think it could have been, or do they think it's a dimensional being? Do they think it's more of a paranormal thing? Do they think it was some sort of vision or whatever? Because how could I see something or look at something that I don't think I ever saw at that age? And I had no reason to suddenly expect to see that. And maybe there was some stress because my family, they were arguing. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this and take